Hey there, it's story time with Grandma. I have a book today about cousins, so it's kind of cool to be reading to you guys. It's by Carolyn Booner, pictures by Jack E. Davis. It's called Would I Ever Lie to You? My cousin Ed is such a tease. He says outrageous things with ease. Mostly they're tales, but sometimes they're true, and I'm never quite sure what to do. After supper just last night, Ed gave me an awful fright. In a voice that dripped with dread, this is what my cousin said. Please don't eat that piece of pie. That piece of pie could make you die. It's full of poison through and through. It might just be the end of you. If you take a single bite, first you'll lose your appetite. You'll feel a burning in your belly. Your arms and legs will turn to jelly. Your tongue will curl. Your eyes will pop. Your hair will fall out with a plop. You'll get big lumps and bumps and more while you're falling to the floor. Then you'll die. It's perfectly true. Would I ever lie to you? A poison pie? Could it be true? With Cousin Ed? You never knew. He once told me he'd watched me hatch from a big green egg in the cabbage patch. He said my mother jumped with joy to find her little alien boy. Was it true? My mom says not, but that's the kind of cousin I've got. One day he stared at me and said, "There's something strange about your head. You really ought to do more thinking because it's clear your head is shrinking." I measured my head. I prepared for the worst. I worried so much that I thought I would burst. But my head never did shrink smaller in size. It seems it was just one of Cousin Ed's lies. Once when we slept at Grandma's house, where it's as quiet as a mouse, I heard a loud creaking overhead. "Don't worry," yawned my Cousin Ed. "It's just the alligators going to bed." Dad checked everything with a light. He said there's not a thing in sight. But still I couldn't sleep that night. When Ed and I were at the zoo, Ed said, "That monkey looks like you. When you grow up, you'll live here too. Don't cry, I'll come and visit you." Was he teasing? I still worry. I don't want to be all furry. Ed gave me such an awful fright, 'cause sometimes what he says is right. He said, "Aunt Mary has no teeth." I thought that was beyond belief, but when we spied, there was no doubt, because we saw her pop them out. "Your mom has eyes in the back of her head," my cookie-snatching cousin said. I asked my dad if it was true. "Of course," he said, "all mothers do." Ed told me there were redwood trees a car could drive right through with ease. "No way," I said, but Mom said yes. He told the truth that time, I guess. Ed said, "Hold this big shell a minute. You can hear the ocean in it." Well, I knew that couldn't be true, but I listened, and I heard it too. So what about my piece of pie? Could it really make me die? Or was it all a silly lie? Ed said to me, "Here's what I'll do. I'll eat that poison pie for you. What a kind dear cousin true." Now I knew just what to do. "Ed," I said, "it's plain to see. You just want the best for me. It's time that I took care of you. I'll eat my pie, and then yours too." I took a bite and it was great. But by that time it was too late. I felt a burning in my belly. My arms and legs all turned to jelly. My tongue curled up, my eyes went pop, my hair fell out with a plop. I got lumps and bumps and more while I was falling to the floor. Then I died. It's perfectly true. Would I ever lie to you? The end. Kind of a silly book, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed it. It was a rhyming book. Grandma loves those rhyming books anyway. So I hope you enjoyed the story. Grandma loves you.